Hello.
He's George.
George.
From France.
Good to meet you all.
So really international gathering here.
Yes.
Georgia, Austria, United States, Portugal, what else?
Moldova.
Denmark.
And Moldova.
So guys, just
I'm okay. I was.
Say it.
No, it's good. It's good. We are multicultural gathering.
Yeah.
Very pleased.
so welcome to Pomuregal. Pomuregal is a brand of our company, agriculture company who is dealing growing walnuts. You are here in our first experience what we did with walnuts. This is Fernord samplings. It was planted small samplings from France nursery in 2013 first stage and 2014 second stage. Here we have a plot of 40 hectares.
8 on 8.
8 on 8, 156 trees, yes. Just to explain how we did, I mean, just shortly about the treatment, what we do here. We treat in a autumn or during the winter, like we did with the sulfate of potassium.
Oh, you mean you do the
yes,
what?
you see,
Okay.
You see, it's going like
potassium.
yes,
Yeah, hard applications. Yeah.
yeah. Murata's advice how to do it, and this is what we done. Also, we do twice a year in nitrogen, like Selitra and urea, doing in the end of March and the end of May, beginning of June. And also this is what's everything, almost everything what's regarding the fertilizers. And
Since you also don't have irrigation system.
we don't have irrigation because you see here's the place of the lake, 7 hectares of the lake could be done, but the water in this region is very salty. SAR is 13. It's one free. So we almost could do the only one thing is just to do the reverse osmosis plant, but this is cost huge. One thing. A second, with the residuums, it be difficult to ecology department to explain them where we get out the waste from the factory. So now we are kind to find a solution, like a middle, like we are studying now electronical pumping of the water, something like this. Like if you have about like they do in Spain, also in Greece. They do such things, and now we are trying to see. There are some samples who are doing with vineyards, and then to see for 2-3 years the changes in the soil, what will happen with their soil.
Have you got samples of well water already?
Yes.
And it's good enough to.
No, the
No.
well water is
Well
not
water,
good.
no.
I mean, even well water and lake, they are not good. So just even 200 deep 200 meters, it's
Yeah,
salty.
same like ours.
So we have to find a solution somehow to treat it.
What's your current harvest size?
Here it's 1.2 tons. That's what we get last year. So it's almost more than 10 years old
Old
orchard,
orchard.
and it's only 1.2. But okay, from this year we started to
156
to apply
per hectare.
potassium. Hopefully we'll get more in next years, and we want year by year to implement this thing. And also, okay, nitrogen we used all time.
And precipitation millimeter per year is.
Average per country is like 700, 800 millimeters per year. So you need for
Pollen or retention, I
the
don't
walnuts
see a
almost
disease issue.
1,200.
Yeah.
Surely,
In a
if not more,
dry farm,
depends how
Yeah,
the
at least, I mean,
evaporation.
at least, yes.
isn't
And
going to
if
produce
you
4,
have
5
like,
tons.
in
of
our
like
water.
zone,
we had
we
last
can
summer,
calculate
last
the
summer
unit
it was
extents.
very hot. We had a walnut barn on our trees. Even we applied kaolin. So even with
could
the
not
kaolin
prevent it.
they've been anyway they've been burned. Probably we have to use more to make it like white.
Yeah, to really reflect.
Yes. So that's the issue. For 2 years we are fighting with hot
May I
weather.
ask a question?
Yep.
If you count falling flowers,
Have you counted?
No, I didn't count it, but there are. It wasn't probably. Fernor itself, it started when we are young. They put all the almost all the flowers, like 20% is only left on the trees. Now, when they are growing year by year, they are becoming more and more.
It's because you have more pollinators. More pollen.
Yeah, it's like 4%, 4.5% of the pollinator here, and probably it was too much pollen at that time, or I don't know. I don't know how to explain, because in the beginning they were leaving the fruits, but for last 2-3 years, it's good. It's good retention of the flowers, and we have extra pollination in the local variety, and we just took out this year the pollinizer and left with just 1% of the pollinizer in that field to see how.
What's the name of the local?
Peshansky.
Pishansky.
Peshansky.
Pishansky. And what's yield there, like yearly?
No, I mean, this is variety is very. It's very. I mean, it's first variety who are very
Planted
early.
industrially?
No, it's planted industrially, yes, but it's very early. It's early than it's starting flowering earlier than Chandler and
Okay.
Fernor. So the first one, and also the harvest is first one,
Understood.
and it's good for us because we have such product like green walnuts, when you could feel it. So we are selling them at that
Yeah.
time. So just for local
Humid
market.
version of.
Yeah, exactly. Savets, we would like this variety to keep it. But for the last 2 years, the yield it was quite down, and we thought, thinking about the pollination is too high, and we want to try this year. But actually, this local variety, you could take it. I mean, if it's good, saying it could get up to 2 tons, but we never get even 1. So almost 1 ton it was 3 years ago.
James, would you say like 1.2 tons here in these circumstances, like no irrigation stuff, is pretty normal, or it should be more?
Looking at the trees, I would expect they should be able to produce more than that. So there's a question of, as you're discussing, is this a pollination issue or is it a not retention issue? You mentioned that oftentimes the trees are not retaining
Yeah, well, especially
their nuts.
when they're young.
Yes.
Especially when it was 6-7 years old when they are. After 7-8 years, so we already start to get harvest good. I mean,
Retaining.
to get
To do that.
Yeah,
And when they're dropping off the tree, is it when they're just after bloom or is it when they're somewhat larger they drop?
larger.
Somewhat larger.
They like this.
Like the end of your
this,
finger.
Yes.
Okay, what we call
Like
a June
this, a
drop.
little bit, yeah.
Yes.
excuse me, Lila, what is the period when it's falling down?
It's early variety,
approximately,
so probably
Fernor starts in late April, so it's
you mean
like mid-May.
Mid-May.
Yeah.
Okay, because I asked about the falling flowers, if you count it, because from there you can find out why it's falling, and you can decide
in which
then what to
stage,
do,
yeah.
in which stage it's falling, and then you can find a solution why it's falling, and then you can make some solution.
It's lack of knowledge. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just why I presume.
Maybe
Yeah.
James is
So I have a few
times
comments on, we've experienced this nut drop in 2 different sets of reasons and somewhat divided by when it happens. So the nut drop right after bloom is usually caused by either lack of bloom or overpollination. In this area, I can basically tell you, you don't have an overpollination issue. There's something in California in areas with walnut districts with a huge amount of pollen in the air. There's a couple of varieties, the Sur and the Tulare, that will overpollinate and abort, but you do not have that issue. The later drop, in California we call it June drop because it tends to be about from mid-May to mid-June, depending on the variety, is when they're like the size of the end of your thing. And typically this happens if the tree has deficiencies of something where it realizes it's not going to be able to fill all the nuts on the tree. So the first thing I would tend to check is a bit before that is take tissue tests and see, okay, are we deficient? And a lot of times it's not the major nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, so much as micronutrients. Oh, we have no molybdenum, or we have some micronutrient, but you cannot tell by looking at the tree what this might be. It has to be done by testing.
You have to count first the pollen.
The test, do you mean
and also
test of
check
Laboratory.
Yeah.
laboratory with what? With tissue?
It have to be
Tissue from the tree.
completely
Tissue
more
like
flowers than
Like leaf? Even
1.2
leaf
is,
analysis.
Leaf is enough?
for these trees. I think potentially it can make a better.
Is leaf analysis? Leaf analysis is good. And tissue. What do you mean by tissue? What you take?
So leaf is the most common. What's actually better if it's available is sap.
sap
But
of
if-
walnut or the branch?
It would be from the fluid inside of the
kernel?
stem. No, not in the kernel, the stem. Very few laboratories, even in the US, have this test. So we usually rely on the leaf because this is a more common, we can do this.
Because we do leaf analysis, but it's later in like the end of June, something like this. When we
Yeah.
do, and you see what nutrition is inside, but not in mid of May when this is happening.
For general, it would be to diagnose this specific issue, if you know it happens mid-May, a little bit before that, like the beginning of May,
Can adjust.
to see what is
What is
dropping then, what has become unavailable to the plant then. It also, you have to look at not just the nutrients, so this sounds like a nutrient issue, but okay, did we get no rain this year? Is it, overly dry? Is there something else that's causing the tree to stress? Because almost always the tree will set, it'll bloom, and then see what's pollinated. And so if they're sizing, they're probably pollinated. And then the tree decides, okay, we can't support all this. We're not going to be able to finish that. And so it starts dropping nuts. But the trees this size, they have lots of spur wood. They should be able to bear larger than what you're currently getting.
So saying this, you mean like if a tree sees there is insufficient supplies available,
Yes.
he actually aborts to prevent low quality.
It's more to protect the tree. So we have
Oh, so he has enough to survive.
enough to survive. And there's a variety called Ivanhoe in California that's
It's like self-defense, right?
it's self-defense.
Yeah, especially it's happening when it's in August, when it's almost it's drought.
Drought,
So
yeah.
it starts to.
They will do then too, because August
They
is
just-
usually the shells
they
formed, but they have no oil in the nut.
Yeah.
And if there's no water to fill the nut,
That's already
It's
water
a blow.
deficiency.
well, you know the deficiency then. With defense of the tree, there's a variety called Ivanhoe that does not seem to have this defense thing, where it will bear very heavily with nuts, and it'll try to fill them all, even if it's deficient, but then it will die.
Yeah, okay, gives all the resources
It gives
available and
everything, and then it's done. So this variety we're successful with, but only if we are very careful to supply everything, because if it does not have this self-limiting thing. Most other varieties, certainly the Chandler, the Pechansky, we don't grow in California, but my understanding of it, it has this self-defense thing, where if it realizes, oh, it's going to threaten the tree, it'll abort nuts to protect the tree. Just overall a good thing.
Yeah, better to save
Yes,
the tree
to survive the tree.
than,
But-
than the harvest.
Since we're trying to have harvest, if we can identify what is lacking in the tree, we can provide this to the tree, and then it will carry more crop.
Definitely.
And what is the percentage of the pollinator trees here?
1.5%.
4.5.
4.5 or 1.5?
4.5 here. I mean, like yes, 4.5. And we just took out. It was 4.5. Same thing. We just took out 3%. It's 1.3, and we'll look this year how it will change.
0.5 is, I think it should be enough for the orchard.
Because the second.
Depends on
if-
variety.
We'll see. We'll monitor for 2 years. If nothing's happened, we'll just regraft it on Chandler.
So in this, what are you using as your pollinators here? You have a Chandler orchard.
Here in Fernor we use Ferneti, some Franket, yeah. Ferneti and Franket we mixed here,
Okay.
but mostly it's Ferneti. In Chandler we use Fernor as a pollinizer, use Franket, da, polinizator și punem la Chandler.
No Ivarto, no.
No Ivarta here. We couldn't. I mean, it was quite difficult to bring Ivarta here. Huh? Fernet. Fernet.
Lillian, do you know the location of your pollinators? Are they distributed more or less evenly?
Yes. Okay. This is how we dip them
You
out.
could
I mean,
took them.
yes.
And
You know, you have a skin, so
yeah, how you do it? Like every
it's
Couple
like
of
here 4.
lines.
If you have 5%, so it means 1,
Every-
2, 3, 4. The fifth is a pollinizer. And
The whole
then up
row,
there,
whole
same
row.
thing, 4 rows, and the fifth is a pollinizer.
okay, so you do the square.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is good system.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's easy and to remember, and also it's
it gives you even
You-
pollen.
yeah. So it depends.
Distribution.
You don't depend on the wind if it's going like this or it's going like this. So it's
All
there.
corners are covered.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good.
Probably is also healing here that makes difference when it rains, like no water retention. All the water downhill.
It's not going downhill because we still. I mean, it's some kind of a. But when it's going, I mean, it's just like you.
Water is running,
channels.
obviously.
Yeah,
Right?
it's going.
Something very simple. They put a line of it. So
This is potassium.
This is potassium.
They injected
We
potassium.
introduced the fertilizer. But also, dar tu ai făcut și crășenie, potassium. Yes, potassium. But this is we did this year. This is after plantation. We didn't do anyone, but this one we did with a plug of 60 centimeters, just to make it soil
Aeration.
aeration. Yes. To take more water inside, but it doesn't snow.
Maybe we'll snow now.
You know.
It can
What
snow
we
later.
can do it, and we are trying all the time, just to solve the problem here. We just take candles and go to the church.
It sounds like as good idea as any.
It's a good idea, but you know it doesn't help. It's just, if you don't
last way.
something doesn't help.
Actually, that should be the first way. Maybe that's the fate.
So there is not much we can do about the total amount of precipitation, but we can do things to try to retain as much of the moisture that falls on your ground as possible. One thing that I was talking about at the last orchard that we've had good success in everywhere I've seen it tried is to try to get some sort of growing plants established in the winters in the middle. I realize it's very cold here and we need to find suitable plants.
Yep, probably.
This can provide nutrients, but it also gives things to catch. If there's blowing snow, if there's running water, if you have living plants, they will retain more in this. And even though they take some in the winter, it will have more available for your trees in the summer. So this is one method that can be good if we can get the right plants. And I have contacts with people that have similar climate to this. The plants I use in California won't grow here in the winter. The climate's too different. But I have contacts with people that are growing mostly open ground, but in a very similar climate to this, that do this in the winters. And I can get a list of plants that they have been successful with there.
It's more herb types,
Try
right?
that.
It's not much. It's like saying
Like cover crops, typical cover
It's
crops.
double-
like crops, like
Yeah,
you know.
but like in California, I'll use a radish and a mustard and a triticale and some beans. But
Acumulează și
Yeah,
apa și
the cereal grains would work here. They'll grow over winter, but the mustard and the radishes won't. The cold here would kill them before they got up. So I need to find alternatives that are suitable to the cold. So this is
we've tried
one
now
suggestion.
with the cover crops, with the weed. I mean, just
let
natural
this
one,
yes.
natural one, and he also it was. But we'll go now to Chandler, and it was one plant in 2016 and then I want 17 or 17, 18, 1 year difference, and we left with the crop, the yearly one, and we left without anything, just black soil all time taking herbs, weeds out, but and we saw that that one with no grass even grew better than.
And even it was a year younger.
Yes, and when you look on them, this one are small on size but bigger and thicker. That ones are higher but not so thick like those ones. So we go now and see that. This is
One suggestion on further plantings that I've not seen here in the other field because it was dense is different. You can give each tree more access to water and sunlight and nutrients if you can offset the planting so there's an equal distance around each tree. Do you understand this? With as far as like you have 8 by 8 and they all line up with each other. If you moved the trees in say this row 4 meters offset from the next, so they are staggered, all the trees will get more light, or in this case, really it's more water. Because we're not going to run out of light here, we're going to run out of water. And it will also break up any channels. Suggestions for further planting. Layout by a triangle.
Yep.
So it's obviously not something to redo, but something to keep in mind with further plantings. It can help
This is
some.
just to tell to new farmers.
Yes.
New farmers are tending to
remove some of the fruitful wood here, given that it shows some signs of premature getting old. I mean, looking at least at this tree.
This tree is a little thick. I don't try to restructure trees of this age. But there is
some of the wooden side to lighten the burden.
Yes, lightly yes, but not heavily. And it would mostly I would start looking at anything that's got damage. He was talking about sun damage earlier. I don't see any on this particular tree, but there is some in there. Generally, a tree like this age, if it gets, how do you put it? If it's overbearing, the tree will start drying out whatever parts it's not able to support. And I usually use that as my indicator of where it is. So I look for that, and then the only other thing I would take out is stuff that's either not going to shake well, you know, like this, or stuff that's going to cause disease thing by growing through itself, like say that one.
You would remove that one.
So a small extent, yes, I think it could be helpful, but I would not go through and prune trees this age very heavily.
Cred că a scos, dar pot să o mai lasă un an, fiindcă e mai faci. Deja la anul viitor, în fiecare an facem inventariere în levadă și nu știm care trebuie de scos, dar ne uităm dacă ea anul ăsta nu suprapune asupra la crangă și nu deteriorează, noi o mai lăsăm un an și deja la anul viitor o să o scoatem de aici.
So he might leave it an additional year to bear fruit.
Yes.
And then they might remove it, you know.
Yeah.
So progressively, you know, they remove them, but also allowing the tree to produce, to set fruit and bear.
It is very important. My theory on pruning, which is based on the latest research in California, is it is very important on a young tree, say years 1 through 7 or 8, to structure the tree well. Once the tree is structured, whether it was done good or bad, it is not productive to try to restructure the tree.
Yeah.
You certainly want to prune out any disease, any obvious rubbing
Damages.
or damage, and kind of keep the tree having new wood, but it becomes very light. That would change when the tree gets very old. If you have, say, 20, 30-year-old orchards, you know, another 15 years from now in this, if you decide, this is still productive, at that point you can go through and start pruning fairly heavily to renew the orchard. But that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah. El recomandă în primii 3-4 ani să faci formarea coroanei. Dacă ai făcut-o bine sau rău, deja mai târziu nu mai contează. Păstrezi ceea ce ai, mai intervii cu corecții de astea așa minore. Dar odată format nu recomandă pentru că pierzi din producție. După la vârsta între 15 și 20 de ani, când deja scade potențialul de producere, faci o tăiere, o regenerare mai severă în coroană ca să reînnoiești creșterea. Să traduci special că ai cazuri de astea, chiar nu cred nici eu care sens. Dar mâine ați uitat. So what do you see there?
Oh, it's sun. I believe sun damage. Maybe hail, but it looks like sun damage. So it's healing, but
Daună provocată de soare.
you know,
Arsură solară, da, e
it's stuff like that. On large limbs, I look for it.
La marginea
To
coroanei.
get it.
A doua întrebare e privința la protecție. Dacă nu facem protecție la timp, evident că tot este un motiv pentru ca scadă nucile.
If you don't do timely plant protection, can this cause a fruit drop?
Yes, it can.
A doua întrebare, noi prima structură, aici facem prima structură, toate că nucile le avem calitative, prima structură o facem când deja avem 40% de muguri în rugăciune, da? Dar totuși, cum ar fi mai corect, mai bine să faci prima structură până la mugurii, de exemplu, așa spunem, sfârșitul februarie-martie, să mai facem o structură până la deja
Cu cupru,
cu
nu?
cupru de 2%, 1%, 2%, da? Noi facem practic când deja 40% de muguri sunt rugăciune,
So,
dar totuși după cum scriu cărțile de care ar trebui
asta care în perioada de
în
repaus.
perioada de repaus, da, februarie-martie, încă o structură.
So,
Care-i părerea?
this orchard, tu ai în vedere numai aici sau în toate livezele?
În toate le vezi.
Because we see only part of the orchards, the rest is up there.
Yes.
So they do the first copper spray when 40% of the terminal buds are in prayer stage. Then they do the next, as recommended by various systems. Do you think this is okay for this to be the first spray, or should they do another one prior to leaf out?
I think it's fine for that to be first. What I found with these copper sprays is it's primarily dependent on the weather. Is if it's like now, if it's not raining, you really don't need the copper spray. If
Even
it's
the prayer stage?
even the prayer stage, because the blight fungus does not move on the tree unless it has water film on the tree. So if you have rain or if you have very heavy dew where it's like dripping, then you need the copper or the blight will spread. If it is dry like it is right now, it does not need the copper spray. So the main thing would be to watch the weather, and in the early stages of the nut, if it looks like it's going to rain, you really want the copper to go on a few days before the rain.
În general, recomandarea asta de prima, în general de aplicații cuprice, e strâns legată de condițiile meteo. Dacă nu e anunțat, adică primăvara e destul de uscat, cum e acum, de exemplu, n-are sens să faci tratament cupric, nici măcar la prayer stage, nici mai târziu, decât dacă s-a anunțat precipitații. În cazul în care se anunță precipitații, tu îți trebuie să faci tratament cu vreo 2 zile înainte. Bacterioza se mișcă, adică sporii ăștia de bacterii se mișcă numai atunci când ai un film de ăsta, de un strat umed, țesutul, știi? Ele migrează pe țesutul verde.
If you have consistent, very heavy dew, where it's like always wet, then the first stage would be a good idea.
Oi sau rouă.
În orice caz, dacă am avut bacterii anul trecut, au fost puțină, da, bacterioză, ceva au fost bolnavi, nucile, ar fi bine să faci prima structură până la...
Aici de-a altă situație, dacă ai avut o infecție puternică în anul precedent, sau...
Nu puternică,
așa, mai mult decât I suppose it happened to you also. Some years you mismanage blight and you get some heavy infection. And in this case, what do you do next year? Even if you don't have rainy weather in the spring, do you still, however, follow this rule, or based on the fact that you've had a serious blight infection previous years and you expect like more blight pressure, do you make, however, the copper sprays in the recommended timing?
Yes.
So this is really a function of what happened previous years?
Yes. What functioned previous years, and if you know you have a very heavy blight infestation, yes, I would definitely be faster to put the copper application. I would still wait for moisture to get the coverage for the wet events, but I would not be just looking at if it's going to rain. I would go, okay, it's damp, it's wet, the trees are open where there's a cesspool, we need to put some copper on to cover this because we know we have this very heavy blight infestation.
În cazul în care, nu știu, noi am avut ani de ăștia, în 21, de exemplu, în 22 ne-am trezit cu infecție. Da, dacă au fost ani de ăștia precedent, adică dacă în anul precedent ai avut o infecție, într-adevăr în anul următor, în primăvara următoare, ții cont și de climă, adică de perioadele ploioase, ca să reușești un tratament înainte de o ploaie. Dar chiar dacă nu se anunță ploi, ținând cont de așa că ai avut o infecție masivă anul precedent, tu știi că ai focare și oricum trebuie să faci tratamentele. Dar regula asta, vezi, e nou.
Păi da, dar tratamentele îl faci atunci când se dă mugurile.
Dacă nu, el zice că dacă nu, chiar dacă e prayer stage, când știi mugurile să-ți face, dacă n-ai primăvară uscată, n-ai precipitații, nu e neapărat să faci tratamentul. Adică pentru că bacteria nu se răspândește dacă... Dar noi oricum le facem, știi?
It's also very important to have the correct coverage. Because you have to have the coverage. You have to know how much to spray. You have to make sure that you wet the entire area so for it to be effective.
Yeah, I agree. Trebuie să ai și distribuția, adică să ai...
There are methods to do that. Sensitive papers give you a good idea.
Yes.
Trebuie să ai o distribuție bună a pesticidului în Coran. Dar voi aveți, they have serious equipment for that. So, și anul 15, nu? 12. Din 2014. 12.
13 și 14, da, așa e. Și e 11, dacă e 25.
Nu l-ai întrebat din fertilizare?
I-am spus ce facem noi, dar...
So, maybe we... So, poate vorbim mai degrabă, da. Would you mention anything else here except, let me, I said I'll show you another Fernor. But this is Fernor. Try to crack this one. This is Fernor. Oh, the orchard is Fernor.
Yeah.
I don't know the state of the kernel, but yeah, well, this is rotten. But the nut is this, so you can make yourself an idea about the thickness of the shell.
Yes.
Dar tu nu vrei să faci deloc tăiere? Aici? Sincer, știi ce aș face? Eu am făcut la mine chestia asta recent. Și-am văzut la franceză într-o carte, așa, e că uite zona asta, cam așa era acolo. 1 metru de la punctul de la mișcare, tătule, scos tătă. Și numai să aglomerezi. Dacă eu la mine doi, am luat foarte ce electric. Dacă măsor 1 metru, dacă așa toată zona asta, tot, am delit toată. Tot. Da. Aici? Eu spun ce-am făcut la mine și țin minte, am văzut recomandarea asta la... Nu mai țin minte care carte, francez sau niște fișe de astea pe colori.
Eu n-am văzut, eu câte cărți am...
Și eliberează o leac, adică îți permite ca acolo ceva să circuli ușor să ai presiune pe capăt. Plus că mai e chestia, asta e o chestie, dar o chestie la tine nu mai control de lumină, la tine acolo sunt mai multe măruțele, bun, e chiar doar ele mai rezistent, dar oricum mai nezistent. So I told you one, I recalled what I read in some technological sheet facts in French. So this area, like if you take 1 meter, this whole internal area, they would remove every fruiting, because anyway you don't get any light penetration here. So it's only that wood that blocks the normal flow of the sap, So at this age, they would completely remove all the fruitful wood, this part of the crown.
Yeah,
I would do it I did it in my orchard. I
Yeah.
like it to be clean here.
yeah. It looks it up. What I have found is I tend to, instead of cutting it out, I leave it until it actually shades out. This,
So you leave it to
Eventually.
die by itself.
yeah, once it starts to die, then we'll take it out. The reason I leave is sometimes we'll get nuts out of there, especially on a tree this size, it's not completely shaded, so it will get some. The other factor that comes up is if it's causing trouble. And there's also this thing in California of labor costs and
Yeah.
how much it costs to clean the inside out versus if it's going to benefit me economically.
Yeah. El așteaptă ca zona asta să moară singură, adică în momentul când nu mai pătrunde lumina, știi că lemnul se usucă. Pentru că el zice că la genul ăsta de coroane nu foarte mare, oricum ai ceva pătrundere de lumină și ideea e că îi scot niște nuclei încă. Afară de asta îi costă destul de scump forța de muncă să meargă să tai tot asta.
Acum, în privința la
Eu
protecție...
ți-am zis să fac eu la mine.
Da,
Suppose
acum,
there's
în
a-
privința la protecție pentru pădure, da, ca să trebuiască să stropim caulin.
Des vorbim la Ceandă despre asta mai degrabă. Acolo vorbim
Suppose there's a third thing I should mention with that is we have this intense heat in California, and in times when I have cut like that, I can get intense sunburn, and I can damage even fairly large stem wood will get burned by the
You
sun.
mean it, like you cut now in winter, it will affect the tree in the summer?
Yeah, like if I cut where it's not going to have leaves to shade, somewhere that has, and then the sun is on there, I've had stuff as big as the center stem of that burn and blister from sun. So that's part of the reason I wait till it's shaded out, till it's clearly shaded out, the tree's starting to die, because I don't want to damage the main growing stem with sun issues if I clean out and think I got it good and cut something that was protecting the stem. In this climate, maybe not so important, but maybe.
În cazul lor, cu temperaturile mari care le au în California, el lasă inclusiv creangă de asta mai aproape de ax, ca să protejeze axul de arsura solară. El a avut cazuri când tot așa au scos ca să rărească puțin interiorul, soarele luminat direct trunchi și a provocat arsuri pe trunchi.
Da, în afară,
Asta la noi cam puțin, nu știu, n-am văzut.
în afară de protecție ca să stropim cu caulin, e de dorit, ar fi bine să vopsim cu vara, că mai sus cum mai zis așa.
Caulin?
He's talking about protecting with the kaolin clay and painting.
Caulin? Cu vară.
Caulin, așa, și totodată e pentru protecție, e mai bine să vopsim și
Painting.
Paint, yeah.
e costisitor, dar
Do you paint in like latex painting? Or? And
Yes,
do you do
we
it
do.
only for the stem or also for the scaffolding branches?
I do only the latex paint on the stem, and usually on younger trees. But on younger trees you have to, or they will just, the sun will kill the trees.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
La
You have,
pomii tineri e obligatoriu fac asta, de altfel soarele le ucide.
you have to remember it'll often range between like 40 and 48 Celsius in the summer where I am farming, so it's very intense.
Adânc și temperatura variază de la 40 la 48 de grade.
It's really hot.
Ei, la noi a fost excepțional. La adânc și e normal.
On the older trees, I don't usually rely on sun protection, but I am very careful about cutting off where the tree is shading itself, because this is better.
Asta e ideea la adânc și el trebuie să nu elimine lemnul ăsta în interiorul coroanei, acolo unde lemnul ăla care tu te-ai pus să-l tai, saltaman e ca un fel de umbrelă pentru protejează zonele astea de trunchi. E una să-ți ardă, ți vezi cum ești arătat niște arsuri solare. Nu e grav, îl tai, crește altul, dar dacă îți afectează axul, probleme. Dar la noi n-am văzut chiar soarele să ardă, chiar și scoarța la...
Încă n-am văzut, dar dacă să mai fie următorii ani, posibil să vedem.
Da. Yeah.
Shall we see the next orchard?
let's go to next orchard.
I'm correct, it's like 92% many places. Which makes price.
15, like 10 years.
This will be 10 years.
What is rootstock here?
It's Regia.
Regia? Vlach is not common here?
Usually everything is in Regia. It's good. There are some who want the black walnuts.
Black line?
No, black,
black
black,
walnut.
black
Californian
walnuts.
black walnut.
California black.
Jokes and Cincy.
Yeah.
Yes. But there are
So
usually it's Regia.
These trees need water.
Yeah, they are
It's the only thing they need, because trees is-
fruits, yeah, but they are so not heavy, but
Empty.
they have fruits inside, but they
The shell is hard?
no,
No,
it's
like
good. I mean,
the
everything is good,
kernels.
but not so heavy. They are light. Light
Weight,
and
weight, you
They
mean.
weight, yes.
So I guess the question here is how to make these trees resume their growth.
And you see, they are growing very slow. I mean,
Yeah, you
just
can
little
tell.
by little, because they don't have water. And they are full of fruits.
40
Definitely, they
centimeters.
work on fruits. And
Minimum growth.
Yes. So
Lilian, when it comes to water, your options are quite limited. What you can do is quite limited. Probably, and the fact that that part is growing better than here is also somewhat related to the fact that they are lower and these are higher, so water is running off. So could be probably that as well.
I think only solution here is hiring geoengineers from Dubai to create rain whenever they need.
That can help.
I mean, you need water.
if the shell will be golden wine, they could come.
yes.
Yeah, but
So
your task is to give a solution that does not imply water. So any other solution.
We have shaker.
You know, we have, like even here, we receive generally up to 400 millimeters. Maybe thinking, devising a strategy that would imply some nitrogen application in the right timing, taking maximum usage of the water that we can get. I don't know, some hints in that.
Obviously, the fact that you're not irrigating means also you're not fertigating, so that has an effect. But again, these are all somewhat tied into the water availability.
You can imagine to go in US and to see the tree of 10 years of Chandler.
thoughts as to far as what to do this. This orchard, because of the water limits, is never going to get this tree to double in size. It's the age of the tree, it's going to do that. But to maximize the resources we have here, the thought I have would be if there was a way of getting nitrogen, and I would look for, see if you could get a dry form blend, something, there's like a, we call it 15, 15, 15, if it's available.
You mean 15 NPK?
Yeah,
Triple 15 or?
NPK, triple 15 tends to be good at getting walnuts to grow well, and it won't burn them. And because it's dry, it can sit there, and then it will release as it rains, so that the tree will have nutrients coming in with its water.
So triple 15 applied on the surface or
Yes.
somehow?
No, it should be. I don't know. Nitrogen, if it's on surface, it could evaporate. No? Or depends on the fertilizer.
Depends on the type. Yeah, there's certain types that is, especially the I want to say ammonium-based types of just nitrogen. Yeah, don't leave on surface; they will evaporate. These blends are pretty stable because they bonded inside, but they will release with water. So if you have some of this and you can put it on surface, not like months beforehand, but say in the spring when it's the tree is a bit before it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. March. That's
Yes, and I think you usually get some rain in the spring here, correct?
we get.
Yes. So if you were able to apply some of this around the trees, that way the tree will get a shot of nutrients right as it has some water.
Ce am putea, ca să vedem sugestii de-a lui și să vedem scătăm după ce este la noi pe piață.
Da, nu, la noi este.
Adică
So, NPK
nu cred să
triple
fie scump.
15 here is very popular, but it's mostly popular with annual crops like maize, wheat and other crops. But the question is, in what form? Because we have generally two different type of NPKs. This is either the K is based on potassium chloride, or
That's
the K
not
is
good.
based on sulfate chloride. Potassium sulfate. Yeah.
You want the form that's based on potassium sulfate.
Sulfate, not chlor, yes.
Yeah.
But also nitrogen should be like you told, not an ammonium form, but should be different
Nitrate
form
form.
Yeah,
that you could
the
just.
nitrate form. Yes.
I think, in my opinion, you can use urea, but it depends on time, and also it needs from 3 to 8 weeks to change the form in the soil, and it depends on the soil temperature and humidity, and it will change from nitrogen to nitric form, and then through very easily through with water will take from the
Yeah, but you put urea, you have to put in the
not
soil.
all the surface. You can
On surface?
Yeah.
Yeah, before the rain. The rain doesn't come.
Because I'm
That
saying
is
if the rain
challenge.
come,
This triple 15 we often use for young walnuts in California because it doesn't burn them easily, and it tends to be stable on the surface.
Yeah,
of
really,
the
we have to
soil.
work on this to find the right fertilizer.
The right form.
Yeah, the right form, and that's will be helpful.
This would be the helpful. The other substance I don't know how available is here, but we have found very helpfulness is if you have composted manure of cattle, and if it's
It's gonna be
available.
hard in Moldova.
I know it depends on what's available. If it's available, it works very good because it'll sit there and release. If it's not available, it's not available.
Please expand on the NPK better.
Yes.
Manure is the problem. It's only now that the government put some emphasis on developing the technical sector, like cattle, everything. But for now, it's people fight over manure. Really. Well, not like a fist fight, but really fight.
Yes.
It's not like in Holland where we just want to rid of it. Just,
Yeah. Well, where I live, because we have a huge dairy industry, it's not quite get rid of it, but close.
So if we expand a little bit on the NPK, do you have any idea? So like we have triple 15% of each of the mineral component and the fertilizer. To these trees, how much you would apply? I don't know, per tree probably.
Per hectare.
They produce cam cât productiv pe an? Vreo 5 kg din nucă la un...
Păi, să coate, 200 de poni, o tonă? Da, 5 kg. 5, 6.
So you get about one ton of nuts per hectare here, spread by 200 trees. So every year, every tree produces about 5 kilos of Chandler nuts. This is to aid in the calculation.
Yes.
If you have a 1 ton, we know that 1 ton exports what, like 40 kilograms of pure potassium.
Do you know in this, there were two factors I bring into this. I try to first figure out if I'm going to, basically if I will provide first the amount of nitrogen or phosphorus based on what's already established. So do you know if there's other sources in here do you know if the ground happens to be very high in phosphorus or to have other nitrates?
Generally, in Moldova, the soils have a low content of phosphorus, but I think it's like what you said, the previous orchard, it's mostly a problem of soluble phosphorus. It's mostly blocked, so you need some block.
And phosphorus is notorious for this. And in dry land, you aren't likely to be receiving nitrogen from water or anything like that. So what I would probably look in this situation is I would look at supplying roughly the nitrogen need. So we have export is something like 40 what did you just mentioned is
Yeah,
roughly
40 kilograms
40
of potassium
kilograms
per ton.
per ton. We have about a ton to the acre. So 40 kilograms.
That's from this field. We'll see now. Conductivity, salinity. So we have pH 806.
Okay.
pH in chloride 692. So let's what we are interested in phosphor. Yeah? P205.
Yeah.
It's 4.24, which is low.
Okay.
I mean,
The units are different than what
Yeah,
I'm
probably,
familiar
yes.
with. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
probably.
relatively low. The danger if you have high phosphorus levels.
we'll see now. Yeah, let's see by this. This is the low, this is the high.
Oh, okay.
So let's what we have. pH is medium.
Și noi cam am pus dânsul, dar el zice din contrivă.
Yeah,
pH
Și la pomitinere asta e o idee.
pretty low.
Da, numai că
Okay.
nitru am fost ca clasic. Numai că la noi clasic de triplu 6.
It's but this is I mean you cannot get it from the soil.
It's not yet
Yes,
retained.
Yes.
And
You have to. I mean, it's a lot, but you
it's
have
not
to. Yes.
accessible.
It's not accessible.
And you end up with deficiencies of zinc here.
Acolo sunt 3
Zinc, let's see.
elemente care vin în forma ori e vorba de medicală în păcau ăsta, ori e vorba de
But it's not. I mean, it's not critical.
It is critical for the walnuts.
Yes, but is I mean.
Here you tend to have adequate zinc.
Magnesium. I mean, we could look. Do you know what in
e bună, e cumva numai
on the leaves analysis also? I'll show you.
de stabil.
Leaves
Nu, nu, ești la suprafață. Probabil dacă lucrezi cu o freză sau ceva, nu e de rău să-l incorporezi, dar nu neapărat pe ce ai dat îngrășământ.
From
Dacă lucrezi,
reference 35 should be good, I think, or something.
ai dat o freză, l-ai incorporat.
Okay, so a bit low. Zinc in the soils on my farm,
the
zinc will
nitrogen
lock
is
up.
good because we put nitrogen and you see it's 20,
Yes.
it's 26. So
Yes,
it's
it's
good.
good.
It's good.
Fără
Phosphor 121, 135. I mean, what's in beliefs?
Yes,
Potassium is low.
that seems low.
This is low. Calcium is good. Magnesium is a little bit high.
Although we just put potassium sulfate here, you
Yeah,
said.
we put it. Yeah.
Okay,
this
so
year,
it will
just-
adjust.
Yes, we'll adjust them. And
Yeah.
each year we'll put. So. This is iron, 8095.
Yeah,
Magnesium is a little bit high.
yes.
Zinc, middle.
Yeah.
Bor is high.
Do you notice deficiencies of the zinc? You can tell by the leaves get funny looking.
Get like white or
No, the leaves get like this curled look. If a deficiency of zinc.
se întoarce dacă zincul se întoarce frunza. It's cruel, but it's there are some leaves, but I saw it's insect inside. It's
Oh,
like,
that's a different
that's
curl.
different. Yes, curl.
Yeah, no, the deficiencies of zinc
when
makes,
they from
they
this
almost like
side. Yes,
fold.
from it. Yes, no, we don't
Okay,
have it.
this is good.
Yeah.
If you have the deficiency of zinc
Când se
that
întoarce
causes
e
this,
pe lateral, nu pe în
Așa,
vârf.
dar pe lateral. Da.
Pe lateral nu se întoarce.
this is good. A deficiency of zinc can cause walnuts to stop producing. Yes. No, it can be a very serious problem. So keep eye, but it's not a big deal. To answer the initial question, in this case, based on that, I would not try to do that. My suggestion off the top of my head, without doing math, would be to take a can about that big and scatter it next to each tree. To put by each tree like a little can on the top of the soil. About this much is not going to provide like everything for the math, but it will have something there in the spring with the rains to get the tree a bit of nutrients right when it starts.
But what do you mean? How you put it?
Just like figure out how to apply, but like an amount.
Not to spray, to put it, but to put in a can? Or?
No, to spread, but like the amount, like about
Like about a can. Yes.
like about a can
Yes, I know.
per tree.
Of what?
Of the 15, the
15.
triple 15.
And to look it and to see it. Yeah, we could test it.
That would be my suggestion to test and do, I don't know, a chunk of trees and see if this made effect.
facem o experiență.
Cu ăla nu s-a folosit
Să se mă împăca 15, în formă de să nu fie amoniacal, să intre pe băieți. Nu amoniacal care să nu evaporeze afară. Știi că azotul dacă îl pui afară, dacă e amoniacal, se evaporează. Și trebuie băieții ăștia, să nu trebuie ca să evapore, ca să poți da pe deasupra. Ca să fie locuri. Și că e ca o bancă de conservă, știi?
confirmat.
Și la împrejur, la câțiva copaci așa.
Mai și complicat agenda și procesul.
Și din săptămâna copacii, trebuie și de urmărit și să vedem diferența. Asta poate să zice ca și roada asta. Poate să ajute anume când la dâns s-o adverit la copaci mici care e cădau, și nu s-o ard, în primul rând, și e atunci când trebuie. Și când plouă, atunci el se dezvolvă. Dar așa el stă, da, el stă.
La diametru metru pe împrejurul pomului sau...
Yeah, like basically under where the tree's branches are, just kind of spread. This would be my suggestion to see if that will inspire growth. If it does good, then build some machine to...
Am pus potasiu și mai facem și cu chestia asta. Mai punem pe ce
If it works, then build some machine to spread on many acres. But test first and see if this makes a difference.
Însemnat e vopsit cu pași, știi? Din diferențe.
Aici au mars creștere foarte bine la pom până la 4-lea, 5-lea an.
Saying first 4 years they grow very good, very well.
Yes.
După, deja când au început să facă...
After they start to produce,
să pot crește.
they stop to, I mean they grow but
Not too much. The Chandler is very known for this.
așa e cunoscut Chandlerul.
If you get on,
Dacă începe produce,
yeah, on a very aggressive rootstock, if you put on VX211, they will continue to grow more, but even so, once they produce, they don't grow real fast.
așa e Chandlerul. Asta numai dacă îl pui pe rădăcini este care pui și așa îl împingi în sus, știi, și mai crești. Dar așa, dacă el intră în productivitate, atunci încetișor.
Care este o schemă cea mai intensivă care se poate de plantat Chandler?
What is the more intensive plantation scheme, you know, that it's good for the Chandler
Evident
to
dacă
be?
este
Of course, if you have water. So.
To have water, yes. This is key here, because the limiting factor is water.
Da. Nu ne limitează apa aici.
We have planted, I'd have to change to meters, but we've planted Chandlers 22 feet by 15 feet, which would
20 feet, that's meter multiplied by 2.5.
it would divide by 3, basically. Let's see, so
2 centimeters.
that would end up being
Okay.
like
30 centimeters.
6.7 in the aisles by, let's see, 15.
7 by 5. 7 la piață.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit smaller than 7 by 5.
25. 735.
22, so it's, yeah,
25 by? Or
it's
22?
actually 22.
22. 670. 670. By?
15. Actually, we did one at 11,
15.
and it was on Regia,
Regia?
not on Regia. It was on hybrid. So they get bigger than these, and it was full at.
670 pe 335, adică...
And we have these orchards, and the problem is because they are irrigated and they're on the hybrid. My tree is this big around and 30 meters tall. Yeah, really. But it produces, it ends up 2.5, 2.8 tons per acre, which ends up being like between 5 to 6 tons per hectare.
Is it what the Chileans are selling? They get 8, 9 tons per acre? Do they really get
Out of Chandler, I have never seen.
few plots, probably.
I have never personally had Chandler make this much. I have harvested Teleris that made this much, but it was this plot in this year when everything went perfect. And it did not maintain, because the orchards that produced that much had the trees very close together, and they produced a really lot from year like 4 to about year 12, and then it declined and it flattened out. It flattened out, but it flattened out at like 4.5, 5.5, 6, somewhere in there. I have never.
So they just took everything what is possible in the first year.
Yeah, and it's, after it flattened out, it was still good, but it's. I have personally never had an orchard that does what they're claiming, this 8-9 tons, and maintained for any length of time. It just. And these orchards that maintained the 4.5, 5.5 tons per hectare, they are completely canopied. Like every bit of light that falls on that is captured by the tree, and they have all the water, fertilizer, everything they need is there. And even so, they are stable at somewhere between like 4.5 and maybe 6 for a Teleri that's everything's good. Higher than that plot that day, maybe, but not over time. And I've harvested thousands of acres, because we harvested commercially. So I've harvested thousands of acres, and I get paid by ton, so I know exactly what it produced.
You still keep it with the orchards with the big trees, like the big distance between them is like 20 meters, something like this.
No.
When I was in the US, I was 10, 12, yes, almost 15 years ago. So
Yes.
just looking before planting this, so
Yes.
I saw orchards with big trees and the big distance between them. So but it was mostly probably for touristical views or something like that.
Yeah, almost all those are gone. The largest spacings we kept anytime recently were sur trees, which get huge. And they were, what was it? They were, what were they? It ends up being about 60 trees per acre, 58 trees per acre, somewhere in there. Which, off the top of my head, was about
150 trees per hectare.
58 by
If it is
2.5.
If it is 60, that would be 150 per hectare.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be like 150 trees per hectare. This was the most spread out, and the sur trees on hybrid rootstock are huge. They have, branches. Each branch is like this big, and they were 60 years old.
But they are nice.
But they're very beautiful.
Yes, very big.
But even now, most of them are gone because economics. But that was the widest. The the problem is they become impossible to harvest because you cannot shake a tree that's that big. So even my chandlers that are this big around and 30 meters tall, I have shaker that reaches very high to shake.
To shake everything.
I can't shake them down here. I have to reach higher than this tree is and grab to shake the tree.
James, which shakers do you use in America? Flory or?
So we've used OMC, and we now use mostly Orchard Right. The shakers we mostly use are the monoboom type, so we can reach high because we have a lot of these big trees. They do not work well. The trunk is too big. You try to shake the trunk and nothing shakes. So we have to be able to reach high because we were harvesting commercially many of these very old trees, and we had them also. Those shakers do not work very well on hills because they need it to be pretty flat. Like here is fine, but if it gets steep, they don't work. On the other hand, on trees like this, you don't need to be able to reach 10 feet high to shake them. You can get a low shaker that can grab here and it is good. So.
Мерджим?
Мерджим? Мерджим. Мерджим, ребята.